Okay, so the responsorial psalm is Psalm 34. And who would like to read? Okay, Denise.
The angel of the Lord will rescue those who fear him.
The angel of the Lord will rescue those who fear him.
I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall be ever in my mouth. Let my soul glory in the Lord. The lowly will hear me and be glad.
The angel of the Lord will rescue those who fear him.
Glorify the Lord with me. Let us together extol his name. I sought the Lord, and he answered me and delivered me from all my fears.
The angel of the Lord will rescue those who fear him.
Look to him that you may be radiant with joy, and your faces may not blush with shame. When the poor one called out, the Lord heard, and from all his distress he saved him.
The angel of the Lord will rescue those who fear him.
The angel of the Lord encamps round those who fear him and delivers them. Taste and see how good the Lord is. Blessed the man who takes refuge in him.
The angel of the Lord will rescue those who fear him. Okay, so this is a Psalm of David, and it's a psalm of thanksgiving for God's deliverance. Yeah, and we need to be perpetually grateful for God rescuing us. I think that's important. God also maintains us, and so when we start our days, we should be, it's actually a good way to start your day is list 10 things that you're grateful for that God's done for us. And you can start with, that's a good way to kind of think about, because it's, what are you going to focus on? Are we going to be thankful for things God's done for us, or we can, is the glass half full or half empty? I guess that's part of it too. In basically secular terms, but we really want to be thankful because God's given us the fact that we could walk, the fact that we have eyes, we can see, we can hear. There's a lot of people who can't. We still have our mind. People lose their mind. We still have the ability to taste, see, smell. All our senses, touch. It's, the fact that we have air conditioning here. It's a blessing. So many people we have clean water. We have good tea to drink if you so choose. There's a lot of things you can look at. We have family, we have friends. These are things that a lot of people don't have. We know a lot of people are alone and they have no family, they have no one. And they're like, well, I wish I was dead.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't have anybody. My life, everybody died. I wish And so you hear that and it's like, well, that's where I try to point out the good things, and like it's a beautiful day out. There's things where we can just little things start with, there's warmth. We're not, whatever situation you're in, it could be far worse. And I think that's where we really got to start being thankful, try to be more thankful. The fact that we're not at war, we're not being persecuted. And I mentioned last couple of weeks, the men's group's been going through Tortured for Christ. And the things that these people went through was horrific. Just the brutalization. It was not good. It was terrible. And so I think when you think about that, we're in a time where it could be a heck of a lot worse, being a Catholic,
There's a Catholic village in Nigeria where 200 people were wiped out last weekend.
Exactly.
For being Catholic.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And don't think that, don't think they're not slaughtering Catholics and all Christians in the Islam nations are still doing it with impunity.
They're not the only ones.
Yeah. And the Chinese, the communists
And
and
the Israelis.
even in the Holy Land,
Yeah.
there's a lot of problems. And that's actually, they got both groups getting them in the Holy Land. So.
One of the saints of this today is Saint Dominic Henares, and he ended up in Vietnam after traveling to Philippines, and actually was a bishop there for 28 years before the regime changed, and of course then the persecution started, and then the account said there was anywhere between 20 to 50,000 martyrs.
I mean, you can't even imagine how many people. I mean, and that's how it is. I mean, it's still like that in communist China. I mean, it's the underground church is completely being persecuted, and so that's. I guess that's the point is that we definitely want to be thankful for what we have, but be aware that it may not be that way forever. I mean, so hopefully we got a new Pope Leo. Hopefully he turns out to be all right. So we're praying for him. Glorify the Lord with me. Let's together extol his name. So worship is a communal act. And I think as Catholics, we know that. But there's a lot of people who say, I don't need to go to church. I'll just pray to God and out in nature, at the ball game. Pray to God at the ball game. It's like, but we should be praying as a community because that's the way God set it up. I mean, it's not something we invented. It's the way God set it up. I sought the Lord and he answered me and delivered me from all my fears. And when we get into wisdom today, we're going to see that when our yoke is the Bible and the Torah, I mean, and God's commandments, which is when that's our yoke, the yoke of worldly cares falls away. And so if we have God's commandments as something that we submit to, then that takes away your worldly concerns. And that's important because fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, right? And we need to start with, we should be afraid to offend God. I mean, right? That's actually not a bad thing. We should be afraid of doing wrong because, we know that if we do wrong and we commit a mortal sin and we die, you're going to be chucking around in hell forever, for all eternity. I mean, that's why we should. That's healthy. It's healthy to have fear of the Lord. I mean, and we should have a reverence. That doesn't mean that we should not, trust in God and look at him, but it is good to have that fear. And we don't want to offend God, just like the prayer we did earlier. We don't want to offend him because it's God is whom we love, right? We don't want to offend somebody we love. That's the perfect contrition. We offended somebody we love and we're sorry for that. But the first part is the imperfect, which is I fear the pains of hell. That was the original. You guys remember that version of it? The act of contrition, it says, I fear the pains of hell. And so that's, there is that notice. I mean, so when a kid obeys initially, it's because, well, they don't want to be punished, right? I mean, that's part of it. And I think that's something that we realize, and that's throughout the whole, Bible. But so the angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him and delivers them. So that's nice, fear the Lord, and you have the angel of the Lord encamping around you. That's kind of reassuring, isn't it? I mean, I definitely want an angel of the Lord. I know one angel wiped out 185,000 people without breaking a sweat. And so they're pretty powerful when we don't, that's one angel. And so we don't really, we want to have the protection of the angels. And so you want to have fear of the Lord as part of your life. Taste and see how good the Lord is. Blessed the man who takes refuge in him. We hear that all the time during what? That's during the Eucharist, right? Taste and see how good the Lord is. Taste and see. Where's Deb? She's our singer. Exactly. So that's kind of that's mentioned a lot in singing, the song "Taste and See the Goodness of the Lord."